Welcome to the Inevitable You podcast, where we give you practical tools, tips, and strategies for upgrading all aspects of your life. I'm your host, Brian Hemmer, and in each episode, I'll be going into key topics of personal development, the latest in science and psychology on how your mind works, and the best of the best out there in personal transformation, technology, and tools. So, when you think about the results of your life, it really boils down to three things: how you think, how you feel, and then the actions that you take or don't take. Instead of trying to do more or do less, we're getting deep into your psychology to understand how you operate, to think differently, to feel differently, and more empowering emotions to drive new, different actions to create the results that you're looking for. So, I hope you get a ton of value. If you like what you hear, please give our episode a like or a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel for updates. And if you think someone could benefit from this, please share it with them. It'd be much appreciated. And you can always visit our website, the inevitableyou.com, for more resources. You can even sign up for a free coaching session there. Connect with us on Instagram at the Inevitable You. Would love to hear from you. I'm always fielding questions from our community here, so please would love to interact with you. Again, hope you enjoy and hope to hear from you soon. All right, back with my good friend Dan Jimenez. How are you, Dan?
I'm doing well. How you doing today?
Excellent. So we've been talking a lot about why mindset is so important, as we always do here. Mindset being the foundation, the most important thing to really focus on to accomplish the goals that you want in life. Could be, financial goals, could be starting a new career, starting a new business, why it's important for health, your health goals, having the body that you want, relationships, right? Showing up as the spouse that you want to be, creating the most magical relationship that you dream of, and all other arenas of life. We believe mindset is the most important thing. And so where this kind of started for me was the other day thinking about, I've been getting bombarded on social media with all of these things and, around creating passive income and, start a Shopify store and, all these different offers and, gurus and people out there selling these products, selling these courses, for starting a new business, creating passive income. And, it occurred to me, and as I was thinking about a lot of the clients that I've worked with in the past, which have been a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of real estate investors, people that could be working a job on the side and wanting to create passive income, even replace their income with something like real estate investing. And, I see a lot of them, and the stats show it. You can go look this up. I mean, a lot of them struggle. A lot of businesses even fail within the first 5 years. Something like 80% fail, in those first 5 years. And even a lot of that 80% is in the first year. But then you have this other 20% or this, top 10% that do well and they thrive and they have success. And, the question is why? Like, why do some people have success and a lot of others don't? A lot of people think it could be resources. It's the people that they know, or maybe they're coming into it with a lot of money, or they get lucky. Luck is a factor. Yeah, it's really not any of those. It's more about resourcefulness. How. And you see all the stories of it. I mean, people that find success coming from nothing, you see it's possible. But it just occurred to me that, like, it's not about the training. It's not about the course. It's not about, the thing they're doing. It comes back to their psychology, their mindset, how they're implementing the training that they get, to create the business or have the health or have the relationship. I see that as the really common denominator, for the successful folks, like they are wired, and for whatever reason, maybe they had a great coach, maybe they had great upbringing, great family of origin, programming, and as we like to call mental software installed, for whatever reason, they have the tools, they have the psychological tools to be a successful business owner or entrepreneur. And so just wanted to go a little bit into that today. And have you seen that as well, Dan? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, like all the statistics out there, having run businesses, I've had two main businesses over the last decade, and starting a new business now with this coaching stuff. Like, it's you learn so much over the years, and you learn not only how to run a business and all the technical aspects, but also the mindset that goes into it. And if you think about, you could have all the resources given to you, but if you don't have the right, yeah, I'm trying to think of another word for mindset, but like the mental capacity, the programming, the software that is able to run those applications, be able to run those tasks, like
Right.
it's it's not going to work. Yes, there are some one-offs of these people who, oh well, it's all the money. It's like, yeah, it's the money, and maybe they don't have the psychology, but someone on their team has the psychology to implement it. It's like
Right.
if you're, I've used the whole baseball player analogy, right? If you don't have the eye to see 100-mile-an-hour fastball coming towards you, if you haven't sat in the batter's box and don't understand how that works, right? Like it'll be over in a blink of an eye. The pitch, you won't even see the pitcher throw the ball, and all of a sudden it's in the catcher's glove already, you know. But if you have the right mindset, if you can see what's going on, it occurs to you differently, and then it's like time slows down. You can see it, and you can understand what's happening. It's the same thing that goes in with business. Um, I had a really good background from the military and military leadership, and understanding perseverance and determination, and understanding that, you know, failure is just something that's going to happen, and you don't put a lot of meaning to it, and you just keep moving forward and keep moving forward. If you have a goal, you do it until it's done. But a lot of people don't have that
Yeah.
mindset. A lot of people coming into business, they're super excited. They have the product or the service or the thing. All their
You're
friends
still
and
there.
family, yeah, yeah. All their friends and family told them what a great idea it was. And then all of a sudden they aren't selling, or they have to make rent, or they have to make payroll, and they can't do that. Everything kind of comes collapsing down, and they think, oh, I'm not good at this. I can't do it. I can't hack it. I can't cut it. And it's like, had you maybe had a little bit higher experience with, the mental side or the mindset of adaptability and flexibility and resourcefulness and all of that, it could have been a completely different outcome.
Love that metaphor, seeing the baseball. Like a lot of mindset is, yeah, you need to go through the things in order to know what to look for or have that experience of failure, like starting a business. Like there's going to be a lot of things that don't go your way or go wrong, or, you lose out on business deals, or you have a lot of people tell you no, or whatever the case is. And that's psychologically very challenging. It's to be in that place where you're trying to, create something for yourself, or you're trying to create success, and over again, you experience failures, or you get no's. Like that can be very challenging to deal with if you don't have the tools in place to manage failure, or to think about failure differently. That failure is not, you're screwed up, there's something wrong with you, you're a failure. These are lessons, there's learning opportunities, right? Like each failure has some value into, oh, I need to maybe do things a little bit differently this time, or, you know,
Well,
um,
and
something that a new strategy I'm going to apply the next time, right? So there's value in that. And that's just one
Well,
example of
so
like
here's one thing I would
failure
interrupt.
management as a component of the mindset. And I see you're smiling. I probably cut out a little bit there.
No, I was trying to raise a point. I was gonna say there's only value in the failure if you can see the value in the failure, and that's where the mindset comes into play.
Right. Yeah. And just to go back and rehash the point, like why mindset is so important. I think people, for the most part, and I've seen this with clients, that they focus so much on the technical aspect of the thing that they're doing. Like, let's take real estate investing. They're focused so much on the strategies and the actions they need to take, and the technical components around real estate investing, and they overlook the mindset piece of it. So now you're going into a totally different space, a totally different, new thing that you're not used to. You're out of your comfort zone. Well, yeah, you're not used to it. And one is, fear starts to rise because, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. This is new. I could fail. Or I have to make these calls. I have to talk to these people. I have to put these deals together. Oh, I could lose money. I'm making an investment. What if this all goes wrong? And like our imaginations will even go wild and think worst case scenarios. And we're always running these like risk management equations of like, oh, I'm taking on more risk. This is potentially dangerous. Maybe I should just go slowly. I should procrastinate. I should, not make any crazy decisions. I should, be very, very careful here. Well, that kind of psychology can inhibit your success, if you're not taking as much action, if you're not actually doing the things that the training program's telling you to do, because your psychology kicks in and says, slow down, pump the brakes, wait on it, procrastinate, think, overthink, right? That, well, we
Right.
know successful people don't do that. They take action. You know, yes, they think, they analyze, but they know when to pull the trigger too, and they know how to manage risk differently.
Yeah. Again, it's just seeing the world with a different lens, right? Having that business mindset. One of my favorite topics around success or quotes. It's attributed to Winston Churchill, but success is going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm, and
Mm,
that's like the advice that I give to people looking to start a business. You know, one, you got to connect with why you're doing it, right? That's huge. And
100%.
if if they're like, oh, it's my passion, it's something I'm really excited and interested in, it's like, okay, like then from that standpoint, the filter I use is like, if it's something that you don't mind getting kicked in the nuts day after day for years and still being okay with, then like then that's a good thing to do. If it's something that you're not interested, you're not passionate about, you're just trying to make, a quick buck type thing, man, you might not survive the first handful of throttlings that you get, um, because no matter how amazing things are and how successful things are set up to be, there's just the inevitable um, wake up calls and dips in the roller coaster of entrepreneurship.
100%. Yeah. And I think it's kind of a disservice for programs out there that market or sell it as the get rich quick. I know that people say, hey, this isn't a get rich quick thing, but the way that it's presented, it's like, I mean, it's easier than ever to start a business. So on one hand, that it's true. It's quicker than ever to get up and running. Just all you need is one of these. You can start an Instagram. Like, you can make money pretty quickly, but for the most part, yeah, there's outliers. I get that, but for the most part, it's challenging, man. It takes time. You need to dedicate time, and you would want to do that too if it's something you're really passionate about and you care about. It's not just a quick hitter, and all of a sudden I've I have the income of my dreams, I have the life of my dreams tomorrow. No, it is a lifelong lifestyle kind of thing. Back to the mindset, like you need to think about that differently. It's not a get rich quick. It's a I'm committing myself, man. I'm going to put the time and energy in because, to your point, this is why it matters.
Hmm.
This is why I'm doing this. Can't say enough about having that type of energy, that passion in it, to fuel the actions that's going to lead to this success.
Yeah. No, I mean, getting clear on why you're doing something is huge. It's, it goes more to than like connecting with the passion or connecting with the deeper reasoning, but it shows you what you're in it for. And there are people that are in it for the money and they love the money and they love the quick money. And then, yeah, you could sell rocks, you could sell, paper clips. Like that doesn't matter because you're so passionate about the game of building wealth or building quick money or something to that effect. So it's not necessarily that you have to be like super passionate about the thing, but you need to connect on a mental level of why you're doing what you're doing. That because then that'll fuel you through everything. That'll put you in the right headspace for it. So yeah,
For
that's
sure.
something I think people get confused with. Like Warren Buffett loves the game of making money, right?
Yeah,
He's not spending a lot of his money, especially on like clothes or house or car or anything like that. But like he loves the game of it. He's already way too old to ever spend even one iota of what he's made. Um, but he loves the game of it. And that's kind of, connecting with that and having that mindset and understanding. Uh, the more you understand why you want to do what you want to do, then you can have a good match. Instead, what people usually do is they don't have the right mindset. They say, that looks like it'll fix my problem, so I'm going to go do that. And it's
mm,
like, well, do you even know what your problem is? Is it love? Is it validation? Is it wealth? Is it freedom? Is it escape from fear? Is it, move towards pleasure? Like, really having a good understanding of that will set you on such a good foundation that you will make the right decisions, from the onset, and you won't be mismatched from day one.
for sure. And there's countless examples of that point that you just made of like, you look at the best, most successful athletes of our generation, like, and even previous generations now, Michael Jordan, uh, like what made Michael Jordan Michael Jordan? Was it physical attributes? Yeah. I mean, yeah, he was gifted a great athlete body, but he wasn't the biggest. He wasn't the fastest. Like there was people certainly more athletic than him, but he was obsessed with the game, man. And you could argue, we could go into Michael's psychology and look at, well, did he hate losing more than he loved winning? He loved the game of basketball and he wanted to be the best. And he had a great coach. That's why I love to use Michael Jordan because he needed Phil Jackson too. I mean, let's be
Sure.
real. But Phil was, what did they call him? The Zen master, man. He helped Michael create the mindset required to be the best ever. LeBron James, obsessed with winning, obsessed with the game, you know, came in at 18 years old and has had the longest tenured, most successful statistically career ever. It's here. Yes, I get
Mhm.
it. Michael or LeBron James, freak athlete, but I would say there's people that were born with, a body like LeBron, didn't make it to the NBA.
Right.
And you can look at, I think, again, the common denominator. You look at the mindset. What are these aspects of these successful people, business owners, athletes, whatever, that we can replicate or that we can install for ourselves, think a certain way to have the outcomes that we want. I beating a dead horse now, but we have to start there before getting into the how do I shoot a basketball and a free throw and a all those things.
Right. I mean, to belabor the point some more,
Yeah,
the LeBron example, right? You can have the body, you could be given a Ferrari, but if you don't know how to drive the Ferrari, you're going to crash it, right? Like, or you're not going to
100%.
drive it to its optimal limits, right? You don't,
Right,
you need the mindset to be able to do that. And so that's once again why it's so important to have that, because you could have one and not the other, or you could have one and not the other. You can have an amazing mindset and be in, a Kia Soul, right? And you can maybe max out that Kia Soul, but at some point you're going to need to jump up to the Ferrari, which, if you have the proper mindset, resourcefulness, you'll figure out a way to get yourself in the driver's seat of one.
right. And to use a metaphor you used earlier, if you think of the mindset as we're presenting it as the foundation of a house, right? If you're building a mansion or attempting to build a mansion on a shitty foundation, well, yeah, you're going to run into some issues. That house won't be standing for very long. If you have these lofty dreams, which is great, the ability to create passive income and create a business around something that you love, yeah, it is not for the faint of heart. It is a challenging task, and it's the dream, man. It's the American dream. But if you're trying to do these great things, but you've overlooked building that great foundation, again, you're going to have some structural issues there.
Yeah. Just one example, right? Talking
Yeah.
about money, there's like the curse of the lottery. People who win the
Right.
lottery end up like more broke than they started out. You know,
Yeah.
it's the mindset behind it. You don't have the millionaire mindset, but now you're given $1 million, right? You blow it. Like it's something that happens way more easily. Whereas someone who has the mindset to be able to handle it, you know, we'll use like Donald Trump as an example, just from the billionaire standpoint. He's got a billionaire mindset. And so he drops below $1 billion, he figures out a way to get it back. He's lost it all multiple times. And sure, he may have access to more resources than the average person, but also he's resourceful and he does. Yeah, I'm not a proponent of him. I'm just using him as an example of someone who's lost their money multiple times and was able to get it back again, and it's because he's got that mentality. Also, he has the mental program to tell himself that he's the most powerful man in the world, right? He probably stood in front of the mirror every day. I'm the most powerful man in the world, until he was elected and sat in that spot. And what a great illustration of what mindset can do over physical abilities. Because I don't think he's the smartest man in the world. I don't think he's a super qualified leader in general, just from a military leadership background and like how a leader acts, versus, how he acted. And yet his mindset landed him in a position as the most powerful man in the world. So,
Yeah. Again, countless examples. I think we've made enough metaphors and given enough examples of why this is true. I'll add one more on the whole resources versus resourcefulness conversation, because I use that lottery metaphor with the paperclip tool.
oh yeah,
That
yeah.
the story of the guy, you can go look this up on Google. It's on Wikipedia too. It was started on Craigslist, and he just one night he was at his computer. He saw one red paperclip sitting in front of him, and he's like, I want to turn this paperclip into a $300,000 house. And he was going to play the game bigger and better. So, that childhood game of I'll trade you this for something bigger and better. He started with one red paperclip, and you can look at the trades on Wikipedia. It's crazy. Like his first trade was like for a fish shaped pen. and then the fish shaped pen for like a CD player or something. But like they continually got bigger, and there was times where he would go like a couple months. But as we like to joke, he failed. He didn't do it in a year, which he said he wanted to do. He did it in, I think it was like 10 months, and he didn't get the $300,000 house. He got a $330,000 house in Saskatchewan, Canada. And there was this whole big news story, like the mayor of the town, like named a street after him and all this crazy stuff. But like, what a great example of resourcefulness, starting with essentially nothing, a paperclip, turning it into a house. So if he can do it, can you do it? Can you figure out how to turn into a paperclip into a house? Or maybe it's something else, It's all mindset. And do you have the tenacity, the diligence, the persistence, this is why I want this, and I'm going to keep going no matter how many no's I get on the trades I'm trying to make. I want my house. Like, again, back to mindset. But yeah, did we effectively make our case here? Anything else you'd add, Dan?
No, I think we've beaten the dead horse, and I always love having these conversations, and I don't get tired of analogies and metaphors and examples of how powerful this stuff is. So yeah, I love that we get to have these conversations.
And again, this is what we do. This is our specialty. This is what we love. We help people engineer the mindset that's required to accomplish their unique goal. Could be, again, creating a business, creating passive income, having the relationship, all that. That's what we do. So feel free to reach out if you want more examples. I'm sure we'll get into this some more in future podcasts. So what does it mean to have that mindset? But go to our website, inevitableu.com, and sign up for a free consultation. We can get into specifics, look at the goals you're trying to accomplish and what mindset would look like for you. And where can they reach you, Dan?
Dan Jimenez Coaching. So Instagram, that's probably the easiest way. Dan Jimenez Coaching.
Perfect. Appreciate it as always.
Yeah. Take care, man.